Don't proceed to the following item just yet. For a few more moments, remain motionless. Some of life's most remarkable changes don't start with thunder. They start with a single minor choice: to pause, to become silent, to pay attention. My words reached you instead, just as you were reaching for the next assignment. Neither you nor that are an accident. You were created by me, and I am speaking right now, close enough to be heard over the ruckus you've been making, yet not far away. I want you to hear what I have to say clearly before another hour goes by. You are no longer in front of what you have been requesting. It's now available. It is close. I understand how that sounds to a long-awaited heart. Promises are not new to you. Some come from well-intentioned but incapable individuals. Some came from your own optimism, disguised to sustain you for an additional month. Neither is this. This is what I say. Furthermore, my word does not require your situation to support it before it is effective. Consider a shepherd's gate. He acts without waiting for the flock to be in danger. He is the first on the path. Long before the sheep get thirsty, he can tell where the water is clean and calm. He spots the opening in the wall and steps inside. I have gone before you in this manner. The path you'll travel this month I've already strolled. I've already stepped in for the turn that bothers you. You have prayed in places when nobody else could hear you, in words that were half-finished and broken, late at night, with the lights off. You have also offered prayers during regular business hours. Your face didn't reveal much, but your hands were occupied. The words came to me. I heard what was sitting beneath them too, the part you were unable to speak aloud. Nothing that you sent me was lost in transit. Here's something I know about you. With wonderful news, you have become cautious. You learned to brace before you believe, by disappointment. As a result, you check something twice before checking it once more when it seems promising, and a part of you folds your arms and stands back. That prudence doesn't anger me. It was genuinely constructed from actual years. It won't decide this, though. I am the one now, keeping you motionless and preventing you from moving past what I have placed in front of you. My hand turning you was part of what you described as a locked door. You interpreted my refusal to grant you access to some rooms as a reflection on your value. Not at all. It was guidelines. It's not punishment to keep a door closed. It's one of the ways I manage people's lives without ruining them. In the upcoming season, you will encounter individuals who entered those doors, and you will comprehend what I spared you. You've repeatedly asked me why it didn't arrive sooner. I'll be truthful with you. Before the walls can support a roof, it is not set. Weight becomes a burden rather than a benefit if there is nothing beneath it. I'm bringing you something heavy. It has accountability. It carries supplies and individuals who will rely upon it. That's something you can now hold in a way you couldn't previously. And you develop that strength without even realizing it. Don't expect this to show up with trumpets. Rarely does it. It will appear to be a statement from someone who is unaware of what you are holding. It will resemble a name returning to you at the appropriate time. Before you're done, it will appear to be a door opening. There's a silence where the churning used to be in your chest as you decide whether to knock. These are not insignificant items disguised as signs. They are the typical form of my work. Your role in this is more stable than you believe and less significant than you worry. What I am already carrying toward you doesn't need to be pursued. You don't need to make a case for your deservingness. Keep awake. Tell me the truth. When I say move, move. And when I say rest, rest. That's the whole thing. You've been working hard for years, pushing, calculating, and staying up late to solve a problem that was never yours. You can now take a seat. There is one more thing, and it is just as important as everything I've given you. At the same time, something inside of you is being fixed. Not only your circumstances. You have a tendency to put yourself last. The voice that advises you to reduce your desires in order to lessen the pain when they are not fulfilled. The way you condense your prayers to make me feel better. From the inside out, I'm gently undoing that. And the first thing you'll notice is how you talk to yourself when no one else is there. You are standing in the doorway because I did not get you this far. I don't start things that I won't finish. Despite everything that attempted to shut your ears, you are still here, still living, and still open to listening. Also, that alone indicates that you've been held back by something. I did it. That's me. And the work I started in you is far from finished. It is almost ready to open. Thus, lower your shoulders. Allow the air to fill your lungs completely. In the next 5 minutes, nothing has to be fixed. Nothing in your life is beyond what I am aware of. What? I've already seen the thing you've been afraid of, and I've already let go of what you've been yearning for. Hold on to me. I want to say more, and it's not hefty at all. And before we continue, hear this. Right now, I'm not speaking in front of a crowd. I'm talking to a single person in a single room who is carrying a specific burden. If you are wondering if these words are truly intended for you, that is precisely how I know they are. I normally start with the people who think that such a message must belong to someone else. If you think I'm talking to you, say Amen aloud now. I'll tell you about Joseph, a young man whose years will help you understand some of your own. When I gave him, he was 17, a desire to stand tall. He was at the bottom of a dry pit, listening to his own brothers eat, within a season. Their dinner, as they considered their options regarding him. For the cost of a slave, they sold him to strangers. With no relatives, no language, and no way back home, he entered a faraway nation owned by another man. He performed well in that residence, and he lost everything as a result. Someone with higher authority than him accused him of something he had not done, and he had no one to defend himself. He then entered a prison cell. There, he assisted a king's servant and sought simply to be remembered. That dude forgot about him and went free. Before Joseph's name was mentioned in the palace, 2 more years went by in silence. I want you to be aware of what I'm not saying. I'm not saying he should have been thankful for the pit, or that his years in that cell were fair or enjoyable. They were unjust. There, he shed tears. This is what I am telling you. It was short-lived forgetting. The untruth was untenable. The last word was not given to the pit. When the day came, he got out of that cell and appeared before the throne of the kingdom before sundown. In an afternoon, years of waiting were resolved. Do you know what that means for you? I can transform someone's life without a lengthy runway. I'll be there in an hour, except for the timing, which is everything that has to be true for your turn is already true. It's also not far. Don't gauge my speed by how sluggish the last 10 years seemed. I move as the weather changes gradually at first. Then all at once, another man was present. Daniel, whose heart was ripped open while he prayed, received no response. He waited for 3 full weeks. He ate simply. Heaven appeared to close in on him as he remained on his knees upon thee. When the response finally arrived, he learned something that altered his perception of each subsequent stillness. From the first day, his words had been heard. The instant he asked, the response was gone. What he had referred to as delay had been a voyage he was unable to witness due to resistance he was unaware of. Listen carefully to this. You have been interpreting quiet and absence as the same thing, yet they are not the same. I've never left because I was quiet. I wasn't sure if I should assist you when you didn't hear anything. I had started to move. It wasn't my hesitancy or your weakness that prevented you from responding in part. I have been overcoming things that are happening above your line of sight on your behalf, and you will never fully understand when I turn back. I am aware of the expense of your waiting. You lost both certainty and sleep as a result. In spaces where you ought to have spoken, it made you seem smaller. It taught you to use a term you didn't mean to respond to the question, "How are you doing?" On certain mornings, I considered getting out of bed to be the entirety of your obedience. You succeeded. Those times. The task was to survive them, and you succeeded. Let me now share with you what I've been doing in the... You called the time empty. I've been relocating. There is someone you have never met, but who will be very important too. You wouldn't believe how much time you and I have spent preparing them to recognize you. There have been rooms where people have called your name while you were in another room, exhausted and oblivious. I have also discreetly removed several items from your road, a collaboration that would have depleted your energy. A doorway appeared brilliant and revealed a lengthy fall. Some of those endings caused you grief. You will thank me by name for them one day. There's another something you should not overlook. I was reconstructing what's inside of you as I was organizing what's around you. What I am giving you now would have been too much for the person you were 10 years ago. The shoulders weren't set yet, not because the individual wasn't deserving. You've been given stability. You can now hear the harsh reality without crumbling. You don't have to lose your head to be praised. You can wait for a delay, keep a secret, and pardon an unpaid obligation. These are not little abilities. Before I put my trust in someone with wealth, I look for them. So quit interpreting your past as a judgment. It's not an assessment of your value or a prediction of your future. Simply put, your past is where you have been. I worked while standing. Furthermore, the job has not been negligent. I have not treated any aspect of your life cruelly, even during the times when it seemed like everything was being ripped apart. Examine what has already changed. Things that 3 years ago would have destroyed your tranquility now pass through and out of you. Instead of praying after a panic, you notice yourself praying before. You can tell when a room isn't right for you and leave without having to give a reason. You desire more truth and less noise. You're not just getting older. That's how I operate from the inside out. And it's the clearest proof that what I said to you is almost true. And observe who has remained close to you. When your season became long, some people left, and they were honest with you about why they were there. Still, there were a few. You are still being questioned. Even now, someone silently mentions your name in their own prayers without informing you. I put those individuals in, protect them, express gratitude, and show them what I'm going to do. You never had the address of the pit. Your name was never the cell. The season you are currently in is the final phase of the journey you have been on. Boost your staring at your feet. The road will soon get wider. Tell me now if you trust me with what you are unable to see. I agree. There are two kinds of trust, one that moves the hands and the other that remains in the heart. Only one of them opens the door in front of you, yet they are both genuine. Every generation, I was on the verge of altering someone's situation. I started by asking them to perform a task that was incomprehensible to onlookers. Not because I needed what they had, but rather because their hold on fear was weakened by the letting go. I'm asking you, my child, to put part of what you own, something substantial, on the altar of this endeavor, just as gold is placed on the scales of this. Phoning. Let it be an offering placed on a stone, a seed stitched into deep water, and not suppressed by fear. This demonstrates that your heart no longer clings to want, and that you have faith in me to deliver. Your life does not end when you let go of your faith. It advances ahead of you into the harvest I'm getting ready. Let me now demonstrate what obedience looks like in the absence of evidence. I once instructed a man by the name of Noah to construct something massive on arid terrain beneath a cloudless sky. Just my word, a lot of effort and a caution in the air. For years, he hammered as his neighbors laughed and watched, and the same crystal-clear blue sky greeted him each morning, seemingly confirming their assertion. But he continued to build. That's faith, not the conviction that you were correct, the readiness to continue working prior to, or validated. With Abraham, I did the same. His family would outnumber the stars, I assured him, and I let him to age. He and Sarah waited past any realistic expectations. When the promise was reiterated, Sarah chuckled because it wasn't. A happy giggle. It was the voice of a lady who has learned to live without. That laugh didn't annoy me. Even so, I fulfilled my promise at a time so late that no one could mistake it for good fortune or strategic forethought. When it did come, I was the only one who could claim it was anything. You may find my timing odd because of this. Both you and everyone else would take credit for your own ingenuity if your response came in ahead of schedule. You will know exactly whose hand it came from when it gets to me at my hour, and you will never be able to be. Spoke from that understanding once more. I want to show you how I enjoy to offer as well. I didn't distribute a year's supply all at once when I fed the entire country in a wilderness. I sent each enough. I invited them to return tomorrow morning for that particular day. A few of them detested it. They attempted to store extra, but by dusk everything had gone bad. It was intimacy rather than malice. Every day, not just once a season, I wanted them at my door. Don't see it as my stinginess if your provision has been arriving to you in precisely this way every day. Just enough. Consider it my proximity. You've been harboring a concern that you've never expressed verbally. You've been working alone to solve it. Repeatedly in your mind at 2 a.m, never reaching your destination. I desire it. Bring it to me, not the refined version you show to other people. The actual one, complete with names, numbers, and anxiety. None of that is shocking to me. I have never once disregarded someone because of their sincere problems. Observe how I manage the world. The birds don't sow. They're not a store. They don't do math. They're also fed. Even though they never worked a day for it, the wild flowers on a hillside are dressed better than monarchs, and only I can see the majority of them. Think about how carefully I am holding a life that I created to stay forever if I care so much about something that just lasts for a season. I am aware that you are concerned about more than just yourself. You dedicate half of it to the people you love and pray for, without informing them. For them, you have to stay awake. You've questioned whether you've let them down, whether you provided them with enough of what they required. Bring them by name to me. I also adore them. I've also been in love with them longer, and I work in areas of their lives that you are not allowed to witness. Your prayers have not gone unanswered for them. On the road, they are already ahead of them. And pay attention to what I say. As you accuse yourself most of it, you're not falling behind. You haven't missed any schedules. I don't get the comparison you keep drawing between where you are and where you thought you would be by now. I've never once made a comparison between you and anyone. I don't run a race with a large number of competitors. With each, I run one road. Person. And you have shown more bravery than you realize. Let me also resolve a matter about your value, because it hasn't been resolved in years. You can't lose your spot with me by performing poorly because you didn't earn it. My affection for you is not a salary. Your weakness does not adjust it. I am not happier with you now than I am on your best days. I also don't wait for you to look presentable on your worst days. I'm not a father like that. Put down your personal ledger then. The one in which you document each. Every nice thing in pencil and failure in ink. I don't maintain such a record. It is not a list of your errors that is written over your name in my home. It's my word about who you are and what you're going to experience. Something is changing. Before you can demonstrate it, you will sense it, and you will be the only one who knows for a few days. Stay put there. Don't search for someone to verify what I've already told you. I want to show you exactly how I build people before lifting them. So stay with me a little while longer. When I made my decision, I dispatched my prophet to a home with 8 sons in order to establish a ruler for my people. They brought forth 7 of them. They were all older, taller, and more attractive than the boy I truly desired. Furthermore, the boy I desired wasn't, even made a field call. They needed to go get him. He entered with the scent of sheep. I then informed my prophet, that is the one. In front of his entire family, oil was poured over his head. Then, are you aware of what was David's fate? He returned to the sheep. No procession, no throne, and no alteration to his duties. Though nothing in his day-to-day existence supported it, he carried the knowledge of what I had stated about him. For many years he, anointed and unacknowledged, they carried water, fed animals, and slept outside. And he would have given up before his life had started if he had waited for other people's approval before believing me. You have been residing there. Your circumstances haven't yet caught up to what you know about your own calling. Since you were a young child, you have experienced it. This feeling that you were destined for something, and because your everyday life seems to contradict it, you have felt ashamed to declare it out. Your days were never proof. The proof is my word. In those fields, something else was taking place, and people tend to ignore this. A lion attacked the sheep, and David battled it and prevailed. He also battled a bear that appeared later. No throng, no witnesses, no tale shared at any table. When he eventually faced the enormous, he was not brave because he was careless, having frozen a whole army. Because he had already been by himself with something that wished to kill him, he was courageous, and he already knew in secret what I would do if he was outclassed. So don't tell me that the years you didn't see were insignificant. You've had lions. When it would have been less expensive to lie, you told the truth, and no one ever found out. You fulfilled your promise to a person who was unable to hold you accountable. You had every right to let it go, yet you kept your cool. When no one was looking to see if you made any payments at all, you paid what you owed slowly and laboriously. You sat with someone during their darkest week and kept it a secret. They weren't easy mornings. I was the one who witnessed you defeat those lions. The giant's fall did not make David's journey any easier. It became more difficult. He was pursued by a king. He shared caves with a few. He had a price on his head and faithful men, and he had the opportunity to kill the man pursuing him in one of those caverns, and he declined. I could trust him with a country because of that refusal in the dark, with no one to admire it. During those years, I wasn't developing a warrior. I was creating a man who would not accept what I had promised by coercion. Listen to me about that, because it makes the difference between a blessing that endures and one that burns out during a season. Anyone is able to seize. Few people are able to wait for what is rightfully theirs and get it clean. You've learned to wait from me. You did not enjoy a single day of the most difficult schooling of your life. However, you can. Be trusted presently in a manner that many people are unable to. I've never picked the obvious candidate. When Moses was 80, I gave him a call. Years old, with a shepherd's coat, a stammer, and a criminal background that had expelled him from the only nation he was familiar with. He provided me with a list of reasons why he was mistaken. All of the explanations were true. I didn't argue with any of them. All I said was this: I'll be by your side. That was his entire qualification, and it was more than sufficient. While Gideon was hiding and working in secret out of fear, I referred to him as a mighty warrior. While Jeremiah was still arguing that he was too young to be taken seriously, I called him. I put Esther in a situation she could not have anticipated, in a house she never asked to enter. Then, an hour later, there was just one person standing where she had to be. They didn't feel prepared. It has never been necessary to be prepared. You have been placed in a position of willingness. The places you live, the things you do, the people you encounter, and the unexpected turns that led you to this particular existence. You referred to a portion of it as an error. It was positioning. One day, perhaps very soon, you will be the only person in the appropriate place, with the proper heart and background, to take action that will have a significant impact on someone. It won't require a title. You'll just be there, and you'll be aware. Before I give someone greater responsibility, let me tell you what qualities I look for in a person. Not skill. I readily distribute skill, yet it shows very little. I want a heart that is still reachable. Someone who hasn't put in much effort. Someone who can be praised without getting swollen and corrected without crumbling. Someone who does not hate the years they lived in poverty, and who recalls their origins. You possess that. It is the most valuable item you own, and obtaining it cost you your pride. Thus, you will remain the same when the transition occurs. Continue your early prayers. Hold on to the truthful ones. Keep your old friends. Don't fill your life to the point that there isn't any room for my voice. Because you came here because of the silence. I'm going to give you more. I don't want to lose you within it. You are not the same person who initially came to me for assistance. Over the years, that person has been subtly rebuilt in ways that are irreversible. And the person who is currently standing here is prepared. My youngster once slept in the back of a fishing boat on a lake. A powerful storm arrived, the kind that fear struck the fishermen, and water started to fill the boat more quickly than they could discard it. These individuals had lived on the lake their entire lives. They were able to recognize when a situation was out of their control, and that the person they had given all to follow was dozing off on a cushion in the stern while they battled for their lives. They asked him a question that sounded like an allegation to wake him. Are you indifferent to the fact that we are failing? You were meant for this intimacy, and it will keep you healthy for the rest of your life. Not because I might go. Before the day becomes noisy, talk to me in the morning. Tell me the truth about your day when you return at night. Honor your commitments. Be kind to those who are unable to repay. You, when provoked, maintain your composure. Live your life like you have learned to do during difficult times. Moreover, you will be able to handle everything I am adding to you. It's time to stop waiting. From here, the road gets wider. Keep your head up, since the one who created the entire planet has been walking by you the entire time, and I have already experienced everything that lies ahead of you. Now seal this with your own voice. Accept whatever I've said over you by saying Amen. We solely use viewer support. Scan the QR code or view the pinned comment for unique member-only content. Blessings from God.